All right, folks, welcome back to Court Cases of 2025. This is Sarge, and I'm here with Grizz. Today we're diving into a real firestorm. Florida's sheriff and that viral speech about protest policing. Grizz, you catch that clip?
Oh, I caught it, Sarge. Hard to miss when a sheriff gets on TV and says, "We will kill you if you come down here rioting." That's not your average press conference. He laid it out step by step. Peaceful protest, fine, but if you throw a brick or spit on a deputy, you're going to jail or worse. No sugarcoating.
Yeah, he wasn't mincing words. I mean, he even said, if you throw a firebomb or point a gun at one of our deputies, we'll notify your family where to collect your remains. That's about as clear as it gets. But he also made a point to say, peaceful protest is part of democracy, and law enforcement would protect that. And it's the line between order and chaos he's drawing, and he's not shy about it.
Nope, not shy at all. And he kept comparing Florida to places like L.A. and Chicago, saying, this isn't California, this isn't Chicago. Basically, Florida's not going to take a hands-off approach. I gotta say, Sarge, it's a different playbook than what we've seen out west.
Yeah, and it reminds me of a checkpoint I ran in Afghanistan. We had these rules of engagement, clear as day. If you followed the rules, you got through. If you didn't, well, things got ugly fast. That clarity, as harsh as it sounds, sometimes kept the peace, but it's a fine line, right? Too hardline, and you risk escalation. Too soft, and you lose control. I'm not saying Florida's got it perfect, but I get where that sheriff's coming from.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at L.A. or Chicago, and it's a whole different animal. There's more hesitation, more politics, maybe more concern about optics. Sometimes that means things spiral. Sometimes it means less violence, depends who you ask. But Florida's sheriff, he's betting on deterrence. Make the consequences so clear, folks think twice.
But it does make you wonder, Grizz, what's really driving these differences? Is it just politics, or is it something deeper, like community trust or maybe just the local culture?
Could be all of the above. I mean, some places the community expects a heavy hand. Others, they want more dialogue. But when you got a sheriff saying, you block a road, you're going to jail, you throw a brick, you're going to the graveyard, that's a message. Whether it works or not, well, that's the $1,000,000 question.
Let's dig into that, because it's not just about the cops and the crowds. There's this whole debate about who's actually fueling these protests. You hear claims about paid agitators, organized chaos, social media mobilizing people. Grizz, you see that story out of New York? That No Kings group allegedly paying folks $200 a day to protest ICE?
Yeah, I saw that. $200 a day, Sarge. That's a week's groceries for some folks. And it's not just New York. LA's had folks arrested for handing out riot gear, face shields, all that. It's not just a bunch of angry people showing up. There's logistics, there's funding, there's coordination. Reminds me of running a convoy. Except instead of ammo and MREs, it's bricks and masks.
Right, and it's not just rumors. Law enforcement in LA actually arrested a guy for distributing riot gear. There's talk about pallets of bricks, hammers, even people breaking up sidewalks to make projectiles. That's not spontaneous. That's organized. And you gotta ask, who's paying for all this? Who's moving the supplies? It's like a military op, just with a different mission.
Exactly. You don't keep a protest going for 5-6 days straight without some serious support. Somebody's gotta feed folks. Keep them supplied. Keep the comms running. And social media, that's the new radio. Instant mobilization. You see it in L.A. Soon as ICE shows up, the word goes out, people flood the streets. That's not just passion, that's planning.
And then you get these Craigslist ads, people saying, hey, come protest, $200 a day. Some say it's real, some say it's fake, but the point is, the idea's out there. And it muddies the water. Are these folks true believers, or just in it for a paycheck? Or maybe both?
Probably a mix, Sarge. Some folks care about the cause. Some just want to get paid, some just want to break stuff. But when you see organized arrests in L.A. or people showing up with gear ready to go, you know there's more to it than just random chaos. Somebody's pulling strings or at least handing out the rope.
And that's what makes it so tough for law enforcement. You're not just dealing with a crowd, you're dealing with a network. It's like trying to stop a convoy when you don't know who's driving, who's supplying, or where the next roadblock's going to pop up.
Yeah, and if you don't follow the money, you're just playing whack-a-mole. Arrest one guy, another pops up. Until you figure out who's funding, who's organizing, you're just treating symptoms, not the disease.
So that brings us to the last piece. What about the rhetoric from leaders? There's a real debate about free speech for elected officials, especially in a crisis. Should there be limits to prevent incitement, or does that just open the door to censorship?
That's a tough one, Sarge. You got folks like Maxine Waters saying there was no violence or blaming riots on the president. Then you got governors like Tim Walz getting hammered for not bringing in the National Guard. Some say leaders should be able to speak their mind. Others say there's a time and place, especially when things are burning down.
Yeah, and it's not just about agreeing or disagreeing. It's about what that speech does in the moment. I mean, in the Army, we had to keep a united front, especially in a crisis. You start pointing fingers in the middle of chaos, and it just makes things worse. But at the same time, if you muzzle everyone, you lose accountability. It's a real catch-22.
Reminds me of a time in Mogadishu. Radios went dark and the wrong orders got out. For about 10 minutes, nobody knew who was in charge, and it almost turned into a real mess. One guy's words, wrong time, and the whole convoy nearly went sideways. That's the risk with unchecked communication. One bad call, and you got chaos. But if you clamp down too hard, folks start making decisions in the dark, and that's just as dangerous.
And then you get the criticism. Some say leaders like Maxine Waters or Karen Bass are fueling the fire. Others say they're just speaking truth to power. I don't know, Grizz. I think there's got to be some kind of code, especially when the stakes are high. But who decides where the line is? That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, and if you start censoring, where does it stop? Today it's about riots. Tomorrow it's about something else. I'm all for accountability, but I don't want to see folks muzzled just because their opinion's unpopular. Still, when you're in a position of authority, your words carry weight. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, you know.
Couldn't have said it better. It's a balancing act. Order, free speech, leadership, and public trust. And honestly, I don't think we've figured it out yet. But that's why we keep talking about it, right?
That's right, Sarge. And I got a feeling we'll be talking about it for a long time. Folks, thanks for sticking with us through the chaos and the questions. We'll be back next time with more cases, more debate, and probably a few more war stories.
You know it, Grizz. Stay sharp out there, everyone. This is Sarge signing off.
And this is Grizz. Take care, y'all. See you next time.